Hey there, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brooke. If you are new here, this is a channel where I talk about houseplants and do DIYs on my shorts. So if you haven't, subscribe to my channel so you can be up to date on all my latest videos. If you are a recurring viewer, thank you so much for watching. So today, the cat is going to be in the video, obviously. But today, I just want to know, this title you saw, probably, it's what happened. What happened? So there are some plants that I'm just like, what happened? It was doing so well, and then all of a sudden just dropped. And this plant is one of them, and it's the Monstera Esqueleto. I got this, I don't know, earlier this year maybe. I'll have to go back and look because I have a video of the plant in its full glory. But I bought it and brought it home, and it was a little worse for wear. I will give it that. These are very, I feel like, easy to rip plants or leaves because they are so holy. Not holy like, oh, but holy. They have a lot of fenestrations in them. And so those fenestrations can easily be broken and just damaged in shipping. And so it was just a lot of damaged leaves, but it still was okay because there were a lot of them. So it didn't really matter. But then over the months of having it, it got thrips. And I feel like this is a common thing for me, at least, in Monstera. So my Monstera adansonii, I get spider mites or thrips all the time on it. So I gave up on that plant. I do not have it in my home. I don't want it anymore. It's on my lists of I will never own again. And so this is a very similar plant, the Esqueleto. It's just a larger form of it, which the adansonii can get large if you let it grow. But this is like an extra large form of that. And so I contemplated buying it, and I was like, will it be like the Monstera adansonii? Will I dislike it? And it's debatable. Yes, I don't like it because, like, what the heck is going on? I don't know what's going on. But it is a really cool, interesting, unique foliage plant, and I was really excited to have it. But after, again, the thrips happened, I had to cut it all back. There was no saving the foliage on it. And I do have a short and a video, I think a long form video, showing like thrip damage and what it was looking like. So you can go check that out if you haven't seen what thrips looks like and damaging wise. But after that, it just slowly started to like wither away to nothing. And so the leaves on it are becoming crispy, which is a sign of underwatering. And then some of them have like yellowing spots, which is a sign of overwatering or underwatering. And so I just don't know how to keep this guy happy. I really don't. It was sitting in my office, which is a north-facing window. And I actually put a Santee grow light in there in that office, and it was getting a lot of light. And it didn't seem to do anything because then it just started pushing out this runner, which is, again, common for Monstera to do. My Monstera Stanleyana does it. So I knew that that was like, it's looking to climb and whatever, but I didn't want to give it anything to climb because just look at this plant. Like, this is what it is. Just these 4 leaves left. So it's like, I'm not going to put a moss pole on this large thing just for this. So it's become just like a questionable plant. And it's to the point where, do I want to hold on to it and keep it, or would I rather just cut it all back and start over? So I think that the latter is what I'm going to do because, again, there's no saving these leaves. This isn't going to produce anything. It's just going to keep running. It's constantly like, you never know. Like, I don't know. No, I think it's just going to continue to put out runners. And so I did, when I picked this pot up, find one new growth spot on this leaf right here, which is really exciting. And so I think I'm going to leave it in the pot like this, but otherwise I think I'm going to cut bow. Anyways, so I think that I'm going to cut the one that's actually, the one that's running away. The one that's producing the runners is what I'm going to cut. So there are actually 2 plants, I believe, in this one pot. And so again, the one that's right here is actually producing a new leaf, or it could be a new runner. Who knows at this rate? You can see a lot of thrip damage on this stem right here in this petiole, but you can see that down there, right there, is the new growth point. And so it is it's growing. This is the same pot that it came in, so I haven't changed that. But yeah, we're just gonna see. I'm thinking about doing the wet stick propagation method because I have had success with it in the past, especially with my Monstera Stanleyana. It does really well with wet stick propagation method, which is cutting it all back and just taking the leaves off and using the nodes. So like these are nodes, so technically a leaf can come out of here if it's given the proper conditions and wants to, I guess. But I'm thinking about just cutting all of these along the way, putting them in sphagnum moss and propagating and not thinking about it. That's what I'm going to do. And so with that, let's start. Okay, so here is this guy. So you can see the long runner. I'm going to chop it. I'm going to chop it all the way back to the pot because again, these are where the foliage that died from the thrips were removed. And so I'm just going to cut it all the way back. It has aerial roots growing into it, but just chopping it right above this very last aerial root without trying to cut any of the other stuff. So this is what I got. So I'm going to leave that there. These two leaves belong to this one. And so again, it's got the new growth right here. Let's just take it. It has the new growth right there. So I will leave this in the pot and let it do its thing. These don't look horrid. Like they're not absolutely horrible. They're just horrible. And so I'll leave these guys be. I'll leave them go. Just keep them in the pot. Let them continue doing its thing. And then we'll see. We'll check back and see what happens. I can definitely see that there was a dead leaf at one point right here. I just pulled that out. So that needs to go. That needs to go. I'll pick that up afterwards. Okay, so this guy, good to go. Setting him over here. Bye-bye. But this guy, so this leaf will be a goner. I will remove it because again, wet stick propagation method, you just remove all of the foliage and use, again, just the node parts here where the aerial roots really are. But the nodes are like these little bumps. And so really you can just chop, I would say here and here along where you see aerial roots and just stick them in sphagnum moss. And so yes, that's what we'll do. We're going to chop it all up now. Okay, so I've cut them all up. I've got all of these sticks now. And so really you don't need this long of a stick either. Like I can cut them back down to here. And so I'll probably do that like this. So my actual propagation will be this little leaf right here, or stick. And then you can throw the other half of it away because this will produce nothing. Like it has no nodes on it, it won't produce. So if it has nodes on it, it will produce, possibly. You're not guaranteed it, but I have had a lot of success using this wet stick propagation method. Again, you can do this on other plants. Philodendron, I've done it with them. I've done it with pothos before. I propagated wet sticks for Enjoy, I believe it was, and it produced leaves. And I did it for a golden pothos too. So anything that has nodes on it like this, you can totally cut and just stick them in sphagnum moss, perlite. I bet perlite would be really good to use, which maybe I'll use perlite. Maybe I'll try that out. I've propagated quite a bit in perlite, and it always produces like the thickest roots, I would say. To me, sphagnum moss produces like the most healthy roots. Perlite produces the thickest roots, and then water also just produces like a lot of roots. So those are what I typically use, but I'm also going to try these. So this guy, he has aerial roots started to form like right there, and same for this guy here and this guy. So I'll just stick them in there and see what happens. But I'm going to go get perlite, I guess. I will try perlite. So pause. Perlite right here. Make sure if you're using perlite that you either do this in an outside space or a well-ventilated area, because I don't love perlite's smokiness. It's like very dusty, and it's not awesome to breathe in. So I'm taking these little takeout containers. I don't know. These are actually like miniature pie containers that I got, and I am just filling it with perlite. And then I'm going to bury these cuttings. So I'm going to take this cutting and I'm going to stick them here, stick it here, just outline this whole little, that's what I'm talking about, pot area, so that all of the nodes are touching. And then I'm going to sneeze because of perlite. Excuse me. Then I'm going to take it and I'm just going to fill it with perlite on top, just like that, and bury them like that. And so I'll just stick them like that and leave them in there, and then I will water this, and then I will cover them, and then I will place them in a bright spot. So I'll probably place them underneath my Brain and Grow light setup here. Perlite stays moist and wet for, covered I should say, for quite a while, and so I have used this method many times and have not had to water them really. So that's the enjoyable thing about perlite. It holds on to a lot of water, which is surprising because perlite is used for aeration in soil, but it also soaks up water. So I'm just taking this, I'm just filling it with water like that. And then I'll just let it sit there. That's probably too much water. If you're not doing it covered, you can also cut holes in the bottom, poke holes in the bottom, and then make a little reservoir with water and just like always fill the water reservoir up. And then when you see that it's empty, just fill it back up. So that way you know that the perlite is staying consistently moist. But I'm just doing it this way because I'm going to cover them. I'm going to try this thick guy right there. I had quite a bit of water in this, so I'm going to take it out. Transferring the water from that I had too much of, from the, just saturating all of it. So I'm gonna have to fill this one up with water, but got 1 container, 2 container, and 3 containers. So we'll see how these do. Not sure about the black top situation going on here. It's gonna be under my grow lights, so I think it will be fine, but we'll see. So I'm gonna place these in bright light, and I will keep you updated on how they do, and I will keep you updated on how the mother plant does, and see. Gosh darn it. Oh, that's a good idea. I can just do this way. Just flip them over like that, because that was an accident. I just spilled them. Good to know that these are waterproof, spillage proof. So yeah, I'll do that. That way they'll be nice and bright space. So anyways, I'll keep you posted on how this does. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe so you can see more videos, and we'll see you next time.